Sound is on.
Too far.
And then you can hit the explore.
I was trying to center it better.
It's her first time doing this.
Absolutely.
And then you can hit that.
Oh, okay.
No, we don't really need people.
And you already turned sound on?
I did. It's loading.
Loading.
This could be love, maybe.
Aww.
There's Romeo and Mo. So Joan said, "Hi, Tracy."
Oh, hello, Joan. So, who else is on here watching us today? Anybody else?
There is a 45-second delay, just so you know.
And that was 2 minutes ago. I'm going to just page down to see if anybody else. Nope.
Is Chaos going to be delivering soon? No, she's old and she's fat.
Oh.
But she has been losing weight, which is good.
So, let's just go ahead and say hello and welcome to the Bray. I have Haley, of course, here with me. Just because she teaches me everything. Also, it has been a very, 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 very interesting day. I'm going to say interesting again. Our Flossie's bang's starting to fluff out again. I think probably just due to the winter. Yeah, you've got that right. And Romeo, I was going to talk about Romeo, but since you've already asked, thank you, Lee. Romeo is actually already a service animal that does visit hospitals and nursing homes and that kind of thing. So Romeo has a lovely temperament. Does Romeo do well with donkeys? We're going to find out, right? Thank you. I love doing what I do. My favorite donkey, who would like to answer that question?
I think they're all her favorite.
No, come on. Who's my favorite donkey? Flossie! Flossie. Of course it's Flossie.
But don't tell her that. She'll get a big head.
Yeah, she's already becoming a nudge. Also, today has been very, very interesting. You watched the 5 donkeys being gelded. I watched one, and that was more than enough for this old girl. Yuck. Yuck. I'll say yuck again. It was kind of gross.
I think 8 were done.
8 were done, and Fred, let's just say that he was palpated, and it was determined that he is approximately 6 months old. I thought he was a year, but he is approximately 6 months old, and so he dodged the castration bullet today, which was nice. Let's see. I'm not supposed to say but I am saying it. The ones that just, yeah, see, Diana knows. Of course it's Flossie. Oh, thank you. And so it was kind of interesting today because they did all of the donkeys that they did, and now right now they're in the front stall. All of the ones that live here at Crazy Acres are going to the back paddock. So you're going to just be seeing them because we want to be able to monitor them a little bit better and keep them kind of in that, not that hilly area out back and so they're just going to stay there for a day or two or however long that's going to take. And I think Haley and I will probably be getting done with this and running out there, shifting donkeys and trying to get water through frozen hoses and, you know, the usual stuff.
Well, Joe and I figured out a little system yesterday. We took the hose that you use for the regular donkeys that's inside. We put it as far into the arena as we could, and then we filled buckets.
Oh, that's, yeah, a little less distance to run.
Yeah.
Also, She is helping me. Let's see. Haley today was incredibly. Oh, tender food. She was incredibly valuable today because all I do is say,
Call from wireless caller.
I say, Haley, we have to get Fred, and she just goes, okay, and she just goes out and grabs Fred. Where I'm systematically in my head trying to think of the best way that we can grab this poor little donkey who's not going to want to be grabbed and haltered and all of that. And of course, Haley just goes, okay, grabs a leash. Next thing you know, she's devised a harness and is escorting Fred in through the building. I have so much to learn from Haley. Forget all the other donkey people. She's the one that knows. And what else happened today? She actually captured Butterscotch too, without a treat.
Yeah, I was surprised because Butterscotch isn't a big fan of people, but she saw me coming for her and she like tried to run away. But once she was cornered, she was like, "Okay, I don't like it, but it's okay."
I submit. Maybe she'll give me grass in the yard or something.
Yeah.
And so Butterscotch is going to go live at Janine's house, and we're going to keep Romeo. And Romeo is Haley, I think Haley understands the whole splinted donkey better than I do. It's not a fracture or anything. It's something to do with a nerve that might have been nicked or something during the procedure.
I think he just said the donkey had a bruised nerve or something.
A bruised nerve. So it was kind of chaotic, so we didn't get the whole lowdown on how long this leg is going to be splinted. And I'm not even sure how long these donkeys are going to be here. I'm trying to think, how many are there?
Out of the new ones?
There were 5. She brought
4 maybe.
So I can't imagine we're adding 9 to the herd. But I'm the last to know. I get all of my information from camera people. Pretty much.
I do too.
Right. You guys are on the pulse. You teach me everything too. And so that's the donkey with the splint. Any other questions that you may have? I'll try and look over and see if I can answer them. Was thinking same thing. He isn't very old yet. Yeah, he's still a baby, but he's starting to show some behaviors, Fred, I'm discussing, that are leading me to believe that he knows he's a boy. Let's just leave it at that.
He tries to be dominant.
Yes. And so I thought, in the side of caution, we definitely need to figure out if his testicles had dropped yet. And he won't let me do that, nor do I really want to feel Fred's testicles. So so he is off the hook for at least 6 months.
Oh, you should have seen her face. She was like, "What are you talking about?"
Tracy's talking about touching testicles. Oh, well.
Donkey testicles.
Donkey testicles.
In case kids are watching.
Any more questions? Not yet.
Not yet.
And so the other things that are kind of happening around the old Crazy Acres, at least with the donkeys, that's interesting, is I'm trying to train little Flossie to twirl, but because I'm only here 2 or 3 days a week, it's going slowly. I'm twirling as much as she is. And I enjoy it. It's fun. We run around like little crazy people in the stall, and I try to get her to twirl. And today I had a discussion with her about potty training her to go outside. She didn't seem receptive to the notion.
Probably not. She's going to see all her friends doing it. She's going to think she can.
Well, YouTube, there are donkeys that are trained that will hoof the door so they can go outside.
Did you train your cat to pee on the toilet?
No. That's gross. I don't have a husband or a cat that will mess up the toilet.
Yeah.
So, any other questions? What about Flossie's antics? She's funny. She's kind of getting more confident and more herself as she gets older. She's getting a little bit nudgier and a little pushy with me because I spoil her rotten, so it's all my fault. But Haley did teach me a couple of tricks that enforce a no, and so I'm trying them.
I don't even.
2 fingers on the nose.
Oh yeah.
2 fingers on the nose with the no. And also, you'll see when she's not behaving well, like she'll sometimes nip at me at the back when I'm mucking a stall because she wants my attention. She doesn't want me to clean poop. I don't blame her. I'll throw my hands up in the air and I say back up, and she does. She's very good. She learned back up, and she does back up for at least a good 5 seconds before she'll come back in again. So,
yeah. With Janine's horse, Lincoln, who used to live here, he was a brat. He would like actively like try to bite you just to get a reaction out of you. So to get him away from you, you'd just like wave your arms like that. He'd be like, I don't like that. So
Well-
that's why I started doing it to some of the donkeys.
well, today it was funny because Janine showed up and I said, okay, tell me what you want me to do to help. And she's like, well, we need to gather up all the donkeys that are in the back paddock that were already left. And 3 of them just ran in circles away from me, from the veterinarian trainees or whatever. There were 2 of them out there with me, and I taught them how to wave their arms. The Tracy skill that I have perfected, waving arms, and it works. I can put that on my resume. I can wave my arms and scare a donkey to go in a direction that I want, but it worked. She is a nipper, and she does love to tug at my clothes. And the problem with that is I keep motivators in my pockets. And she knows they're there. If I take them out, she's better. But her little nose, her little nose tells her there's motivators in the pocket.
Harley's asking that question.
What are my child's academic strengths and weaknesses? Well, Harley, your daughter, why do you kick the shavings instead of raking them? Oh, well, I'll tell you that after I tell you about your daughter's antics and strengths, Harley. She is very, very smart. She's very sweet. She's very impatient. And she's hungry. She wants her grain back, which that's not happening. But really, she doesn't have any weaknesses. She's just a good little girl. I should premise all of this by telling you, this is my first foray into donkeys. I've had cats, I've had dogs, I've had all manner of creatures as pets, but donkeys are new to me. And I just lost my dog last February, and I thought, well, it would be nice to take care of an animal that's not really going to bond with me. Well, I was an idiot, because obviously I'm bonding with them and they're bonding with me as well. Why do I kick the shavings instead of raking them? Because Flossie loves it, is one of the reasons. It makes her get nutty when I kick the shavings around. And secondly, if you rake them, it's slower. It's more painstaking. And so I just kick them around like a crazy person. And if you've noticed, it's really funny because Flossie has now started kicking them too. Before she used to nudge them with her nose, but because I kick them all the time, now Flossie kicks the shavings too when I'm actually mucking stalls. She's freaking adorable. She's my little helper. Oh, I look like a fat girl.
No.
I should sit up straight and suck in my gut. How's that? Better? And but yeah, she's really, really cute. But that's why I do that. Are there any other questions about why we do the things that we do, or why I specifically might do something differently than what you see somebody else do? Donkey talk. The bray. I know, when Flossie jumps around in the shavings, it just makes my day. You can't have a bad day when you watch Flossie acting a fool.
All right, Flossie, you're too young to learn about the birds and the bees.
Oh, Flossie. Well, that's my fear, is that Fred was going to try and teach her.
She's too young yet.
She's too young. She's a little girl. But I kind of see Fred and Flossie establishing more of a bond, probably because I used to always lock Harley, Fred, and Flossie in the stall with me and give them grain. And I think because I did that with the three of them together all the time, they kind of seem to have established more of a bond than some of the others.
And Flossie and Fred are the same age. Or close to the same age.
Yeah, it's kind of funny that they are the same age, yet Fred is significantly taller. Flossie is not one to roll in the shavings. That's like Clover and Poppy. They seem to love it, but Flossie's not a big fan of rolling in them. I don't see her do it. One day she was eating them, and then she started sneezing and coughing and farting all at the same time, and it was a very hysterical display. The poor little girl. She had a little reaction to the shavings. Let's see. Anything else? Any other questions that you might have? I know we still haven't really named the curly one, but I have to say I really like her too. She is so super sweet. She does have a tendency to, if she hasn't seen me for a few days, I have to kind of reintroduce myself to her. But she's so incredibly sweet, and she seems to get along really well with Mo. Like, Mo doesn't seem to have an issue with her coming into her stall. Penguin Hugs, how do you resist not donkey napping Flossie? Believe me, I've thought about it. If I could navigate having her in my condo, she would be there. Flossie, you want me to tell you more about myself? I don't tell Flossie a whole lot about myself. She always wants to talk about herself. So I'm a flight attendant. I have been for 29 years with Delta Airlines, and my coworkers are really sick to death of hearing about donkeys. Yeah, they know and expect me to be as crazy about donkeys every time I come to work, and they want to see videos and pictures, and then I see they start to lose interest after a little while, but I show them what I have. Is that Misha?
No, that's Chaos. Misha doesn't stay here anymore.
Oh, that's right.
Kay.
I wish I had 2 acres and a farm. I would gladly have 2 donkeys. I think I told Haley, when I get my farm and I have 2 donkeys, the day I go, maybe I should get another, stop me, because I think 2 would be perfect. I think that's a lot of donkeys when you start accumulating, and it kind of gets a bit nutty. I don't see any other questions. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this first edition of The Bray. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining. And we will see you again next Wednesday at 3 o'clock. Thank you all for your comments, and especially all your compliments. I truly love it. And I will see you next week.